Now, space, and in particular Mars and the Moon, are places that are going to be happening within the next, what, um, five, let's see, 5 to 7 years. Now, what I find interesting is corporations are investing in space travel. We also have corporations that are looking at space mining. No, I'm not joking, because you have to realize there's a planet out there literally made out of diamonds, or a planetoid, I should say. There are asteroids that are the very basic building blocks of some of these minerals that are in the unfathomable amounts of resources. And that's way we don't have to dig into the earth to get some of these resources, because this is becoming a serious, I think they call it astro mining. It's becoming a really serious declaration. There's companies that are putting this in here. But it's interesting that Neil Degrass Tyson talks about the space mining, but says, or has said in the past, that space travel, or what's gonna get us onto Mars, is not um, corporations. Now, granted, to be fair, none of what I've said has come to pass just yet. This is all things that people are planning to do. It's got backers in the tens of thousands. We got millionaires who are serious about a lot of these projects, and we have TV of all things trying to put us on Mars with a colony and a reality TV show that will increase the population as time goes on. I think within every 2 year intervals, they're going to send more and more couples or more and more people to Mars and create like Jersey Shores on Mars, which might sound stupid on the surface, but on paper, well, not on paper, but the reality is, if they pull this off, this is going to be our moon landing, folks. This is us getting manned people on Mars in a sustainable colony that could eventually become something that eventually makes people take notice. Neil says that the reason why we're not on the moon, the reason why we're not on Mars, is because there's no competition. And he's not wrong. The reasons we went to the moon was to upstage Russia, and we did that. But we weren't the only ones who went, but we did that. But it was because we were in competition. It was because there was a push. It was because we were fighting for something. What are we going to be fighting for right now? Now, realistically, what we'd be fighting for is a refuel depot station for interstellar spacecraft. No, I'm not joking, because this is what NASA told me at Houston Space Center. It would be a complement to our space bridge, which is an eventual possibility. Heck, I've heard China's already building their own space bridge. And what this would be, or space elevator, excuse me. And what this is instead of having to use rockets to escape gravity's effects, and all of the expenses incurred to that, you simply just elevate the craft into orbit with a space elevator that would run with lasers and a whole bunch of other technologies that we're not quite there yet, but we're getting very close to. So if you could just literally take an elevator to space, then that cuts costs down of equipment, putting people in space, and so on and so forth. And then it also cuts fuel costs and so on and so forth. So if you've got a craft already in orbit and you've got people and equipment already in orbit at a ridiculous fraction of the cost to put things up now, what we would do now with the shuttle program. The shuttle program, the one that everybody's bitching that Obama cut, even though NASA themselves said that we had already reached the limits of what we could do with it, and it was time for something new. The program that, because we've cut it, we've now been funding things like manned Mars rovers that will get us to Mars eventually through NASA, but will also be part of next-gen vehicles, making them faster, safer, more maneuverable. Oh, yeah, no, but I'm supposed to hate Obama because he cut the NASA space program, even though he didn't cut the space program, he cut the shuttle program, and even NASA says, you know what, it was time. It was time. But okay, so Tyson says that it's not corporations that are going to get us into space, and yet all I'm seeing links down in the underbar is several different manned missions to Mars. India this summer is looking at shooting their first probe into Mars, so India is going to be on Mars. So maybe that will push us to go to Mars, even if it's just that India's got a probe there. But I guess Tyson said if China said tomorrow they're going to Mars, we're there. We're there as fast as we possibly can get ourselves there because funding will suddenly shift. We're not going to let China colonize the Mars. Screw that. It should be American soil. Um, but okay, so we've got corporations that will for 750, what is it? Excuse me here, I think it's million. Yes, for $750 million, Golden Spike plans to travel to the moon by 2020. I've heard the Mars television show also wants to shoot for Mars by 2020. But we've got a manned mission seeking a married couple to send to Mars and bring back by 2018. That's 2 years before the TV show. That's 2 years before we're supposedly going to be doing luxury trips to the moon and back. And it just seems like, again, this hasn't happened yet, but it seems like to a degree Tyson was wrong on this one. It seems like nothing but corporations are getting us up into space. You've got a lot of private space corporations already offering, you know, go into space and back kind of flights with private craft and things of this nature here. And now you got others that have concepts on the drawing board. They're throwing real money behind this. Again, it hasn't happened yet, but if it happens, this could be our generation's moon landing. This could be something that's big. And if nothing else, this could drive industry. This could create jobs. This could open up new lands for all this population I keep talking about to actually move to. You know, I know on many levels it's expensive and dang near impractical at this time. But you know what? If corporations and television get us onto the moon and Mars and create fueling stations and depots for things like the astro mining, that's a whole new industry. That's a whole buttload worth of various different industries that are being created, jobs that are being created, places to go, things to do. Something that's extraordinary that we would have only thought of as being something that would be science fiction is becoming so very blatantly science fact. Not to mention the fact that if we're mining asteroids, the more we're doing that, the less we have, the better chance we have of maybe mining some of the asteroids that are eyeing us as a possible target within the cosmos. I'm not trying to invoke, like, say, Armageddon, the Bruce Willis movie, Ben Affleck type of movie there, but at the same time, this could be beneficial in so many ways to at least mostly eliminate asteroids and planet near solar system planetoids as being something of a threat to us. Then we only have to worry about two things from what I'm hearing. The sun dying, which is likely to happen before the end of the universe in and of itself, and then however the universe can and will likely die. There's the big expansion that'll freeze everything, killing any life that is not adapted to, the vacuum of space. You've got the big rip, which is such a sudden expansion that on the atomic level, matter will literally shred itself and rip itself apart. And then you have the newer prevailing theory that if the Higgs boson and what do you call that? Membrane, I believe it's gravitational instability or membrane instability happens, that a new universe could form within our universe. And then, no, vacuum instability. And then basically its birth would mean our death. This entire universe, whatever it is, whether M theory or string theory holds true, gone, just gone. But, you know, all of this is billions of years from now. The sun is going to be here for a great, great long time. And depending on whether you believe in raptures and apocalypses and Armageddons, we're going to be here for a good, good long time. But that doesn't mean that we don't have an Earth to maintain, and it doesn't mean that we don't have concerns with population, resources, and food growth. But I've already been talking about this and meeting with people who just don't want to listen about this, and that's fine. But this offers us a way to start pushing ourselves towards the bigger types of civilizations where a trip someday to the moon and Mars will be so commonplace that punk kids in the future will be complacent. Oh, Ma, I don't want to go to Mars this summer. We went there last summer. I'm already bored with the red planet. The fact that they would have the ability and the right because it would be so commonplace with that kind of travel boggles my mind. But it fills me with some sense of hope for so many things, including our civilization. We may be we may be reaching the point beyond the brink where we're either going to make it or we're going to destroy ourselves as a civilization. And I really sincerely hope that we make it to that next class of civilization and beyond. As much as I have very little faith in humanity, it doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I wouldn't like to see our human ingenuity take us on into the great galactic future that I do believe is waiting for us, given enough time, technology, and enough money spent in the right places.